Hey guys, Jake does Sports here, back at it with another video today. Today we are doing the Notre Dame prediction in the building today. We are not going to be outside. So we're predicting Notre Dame season here. My favorite college football team, if you guys didn't know. Nothing else really to say. Let's just get right into this thing. Disregard all the teams down here. I didn't really I was trying to find a better way to figure out how to predict Notre Dame season, but I think we're just gonna have to do it this way, where we just kind of pick Notre Dame week by week, and I'm gonna have to pick them out through all these teams here. But without further ado, let's get into it. Notre Dame. So interesting team this year for sure. I think just in terms of college football in general, they went 9-4 last year with a bowl win over South Carolina. They bring in Sam Hartman, big time transfer QB, a guy that Notre Dame has needed for a while now. A lot of people have been saying the good wide receivers, the elite wide receivers, and an elite quarterback is what this team has been missing. We're only going to have Sam Hartman for 1 year. Hopefully Marcus Freeman can make the most of him, though. He's got crazy stats. He had crazy stats at Wake Forest. Very solid player. Does turn the ball over a little. Hopefully that won't be too much of a concern, because that was the downfall of the Fighting Irish last year, especially in those games that they lost. But yeah, starting off, Navy. This is going to be in Dublin, Ireland on the 26th of August. Now 15 days away. Crazy. And Notre Dame beat Navy by 3 last year. Navy's always a dangerous team. I don't care who is playing Navy, especially if you're a top tier program playing Navy, you're going to get their best shot. I'm not concerned about this game as much, though, just because it is week 0 and because Notre Dame has had the whole offseason to practice and get prepared for this game. So I think the Fighting Irish start off with a strong, dominant victory, in my opinion. I don't think this one's going to be too close. Middle of the season, maybe after a big game like against USC or something, I'd be a little more concerned. But having this game early is big for the Irish, absolutely. Now let's go down here. I think this is still week 1. So half of this video is going to be scrolling down to figure out where. I don't even know. I don't even know where Notre Dame is at on this. What if we go to the next week? I see Notre Dame there. Let me just check one more time. They're there. Okay. Yeah, Tennessee State, first ever FCS school that Notre Dame will be playing. If we lose this, then the season is completely taking a turn for the worst. Notre Dame usually they rarely start with 2 easy teams to start off here. Notre Dame, there is no universe where Notre Dame shouldn't start 2-0. There's none. So easy win for Notre Dame there. Tennessee State, they're a historically black college and university. That's really why they are doing this game, is to promote that, which is awesome. And I think overall, though, Notre Dame's just a completely better team. They should blow Tennessee State out of the water. Not too bad. Moving on here. Scrolling down, let's see. NC State. I just had it, man. There. Yep. NC State. Now, this is a tricky game here, folks. I'm not going to lie. NC State, they were supposed to be a lot better than they were last year. Had a bit of a not a down season, but they did not perform up to expectations. I expect them to be pretty solid this year. I'm talking more towards 8-4, 9-3, kind of the higher grouping of those average ACC teams. It's where I expect NC State to be. I think Notre Dame's going to prepare well for this one, though. Obviously, Sam Hartman's used to these ACC teams, these ACC defenses. It's on the road, though. This is not a gimme. Notre Dame's going to have to fight hard for this one. I think they get it done, though. I think they get the win. I think it was really important for them to have those 2 easy games to start off the year, and now they kind of ease into things. I think that's how Marcus Freeman likes it. You saw that Ohio State game, they lost, and then right back, back home they lost to Marshall. So I think having the easy games to start off this year is going to definitely benefit the Irish, and I think that's a big reason why they get this victory here against NC State in week 2. Moving on. All right. I got to figure out when their bye week is, too. I can't even remember. You know what? We're going to take a little journey, folks. FBS schedules. It's 2024. Let me just make sure here. Okay. So their bye week is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Week 8. Okay. Anyways, so they are playing. Yeah, they got the Chippewa. That's right. They got the Chippewas week 3. There we are. Once again, it should be an easy victory for Notre Dame. They shouldn't be sweating any of these games beside NC State. But they need to show up and just be ready for every single one of these games. They got a lot of the easier games to start off and earlier in the season, so should be an easy win for Notre Dame there. Moving on to week 4, we have Ohio State. That's right. This is a huge game. This game is massive, folks. I mean, you can read it right there. Ohio State, Notre Dame. It doesn't get much bigger than that, in my opinion. Notre Dame has them at home this time. It's later in the season. Not so late that it's, pressure's building. It's in the middle of the season, but it's not the first week as well, which I think benefits Notre Dame here, believe it or not. I think Notre Dame's going to like that it's kind of later in the season at home. They've eased into things. I'm giving Notre Dame the win, guys. I think Ohio State's going to have a bit of a down year. They don't have C.J. Stroud anymore. I'm very concerned with their defense, to be honest. I still don't think they can stop the run very well. Not saying Notre Dame's going to be attacking with a run, but I don't know. I just feel like I have a feeling Notre Dame's going to pull one off here. Everyone was looking at that Clemson game last year, not really expecting Notre Dame to do much. They blew them out of the water. I think this one's going to be close. I think Notre Dame's going to control most of this game, though. If I'm being honest, I think Notre Dame's going to control the majority of this game and find a way to get it done against Ohio State at home. Huge victory for them as they advance to 5-0 now. They're looking really good. But yeah, I think Notre Dame gets the victory there, and they go into week 5 now, 5-0. Yeah, that's a massive game though. Like I said, Ohio State. I think they're gonna have a 10-2, maybe 11-1 at best type of season. I don't see them running the table. I just think Michigan and possibly Penn State are better than them in the Big Ten this year. Next game. Let's see. I believe we are playing Duke next. There we are. On the road at Duke. This is a dangerous game as well. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to give Notre Dame the win. This is going to be a tough one, though. I think Duke is slightly overrated. They had a really easy schedule last year. I know their new coach did a lot of things there at Duke last year to kind of bolster the program, put them in a better spot. I think they're going to start to plateau a little bit, and I don't know where they're going to be by this time in the season, but as long as Notre Dame doesn't overlook them, as long as they don't get too high on their horses after that Ohio State win, I think they're going to look really good in this game. I think Marcus Freeman's the type of guy that wouldn't get too high up on his horse after a win like Ohio State. I think he's going to coach this team, keep them focused for the rest of the season, and that's why I think Notre Dame gets the win at Duke. I think Sam Hartman balls out once again. I give Duke like a 25% chance to win this game, though. This is a game Duke could win if the ball kind of goes their way. I don't know what time this game is being played. Does it even say? It doesn't say yet. They don't have a time locked down for it yet. If this is a night environment, a lot of the Duke fans come out. It could get a little dangerous, could get a little rowdy. I think Notre Dame pulls it off, though. I think they stay calm, stay level-headed after a big Ohio State win, go on the road to Duke and get a big win once again to continue this undefeated season. Coming into week 6 here. Let's see. At Louisville. Another dangerous game, guys. Another dangerous game. And let's see. Where's Louisville? At Louisville. Louisville, I don't know if you guys, for people who've watched my channel, the famous quote, "That's a baseball score," obviously that came from the Louisville game. Louisville always plays Notre Dame close, and I think it bites the Irish here. I don't think, this 4 stretch of games right here, you got Ohio State, Duke, Louisville, USC. That is brutal. You got 2 home games against top 5 teams, and then you have 2 road games against very sneakily good teams, guys. These 2 teams right here are not pushovers by any means. And I think Louisville's going to be much improved from last year. They got Jeff Brom coming in. He manages to pull upsets. I think he gets one here, and this is a tough game, guys. I could easily say they lose to Ohio State, Clemson, USC. Say they win the rest of their games. It's just not. The program is different right now with Marcus Freeman. I find his ceiling to be higher and his floor to be lower than Brian Kelly's. And I think this is one where his floor is lower than Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly would not lose a game like this. I think Marcus Freeman does lose a game like this. But they also beat Ohio State. So there's some give and take there. And he's trying to shore up these bad losses. Only one of these bad losses I think I'd take for this year. And I think this is where it comes. I mean, look at this. You have Ohio State, huge win, and then you go on the road at Duke, and in back-to-back weeks you have to go back on the road to Louisville. I think this is where it bites the Irish. I don't think they can pull all 3 of these weeks off in a row. There's nothing in particular with Louisville that scares me. I think they just are a very solid team. I'm excited to see their quarterback play, but I just think this is a game where Notre Dame trips up, kind of like Marshall and like Stanford. They really come at random times. I think this is one where it comes and bites them in the butt. They lose, get their first loss on the season on the road at Louisville in a tough game. Coming back. Now we're back home against USC, another big game. Hold on, I gotta find this first. Let's see. Oh, man. Dude, where is this game? I gotta find a better way to do this. There it is. Okay. Notre Dame, USC. People are gonna call me crazy, but I got the Irish winning this game, man. I got the Irish winning. Yeah, that's right. I have them beating Ohio State and USC, losing to Louisville. Yes, that is absolutely right. I think Marcus Freeman's going to do a lot better at home this year. He did not do as well at home last year. I think this is where he kind of shows up and proves that he can beat these big-time programs. And a win like this against USC, I think they got revenge on their mind from last year. I think they're going to be angry after a loss at Louisville. And Marcus Freeman, once again, it's the culture at this program that just shows me that they're not going to get down after a loss against Louisville. They're not going to do that. They're going to fight, they're going to battle, and I think they're going to show up for this game against USC and get the victory. I think Caleb Williams is very solid. I think Notre Dame's defense can keep him on lock, and we have a quarterback finally, Sam Hartman, who can compete with a guy like Caleb Williams, and even if the defense isn't doing as well, can kind of keep up the score, if it gets into a shootout type game, 49-47, something like that. I don't think it's going to go that way, but having a quarterback like Sam Hartman is huge because he's able to keep you in those games. Whereas in last time, Notre Dame had to play by their play style, otherwise they were going to lose. Just plain and simple. Look at the games we won last year. 24-17 over Cal. Games like that. 35-32 over Navy. Even that's a little higher scoring, but still not crazy. Not compared to USC and Ohio State and a lot of these other teams. But Notre Dame, I think they get the win. I think they have revenge on their mind. I think USC overlooks this game in the middle of the season. I think this was big for USC last year because they were trying to get a playoff bid, and they were trying to lock things up towards the end of the season, and they really started getting focused there. Whereas in the middle of the season, I don't think they expect this to be as difficult of a game, but Notre Dame goes back home, to get the victory against USC after losing a tough one at Louisville. Sitting pretty at 7-1. Yep. And week 8, I believe, yeah. So this is their bye week. Not playing football this week. We are going to go to week 9. Got a game against Pitt. Pitt is always a team that has played Notre Dame tough as well. Louisville and Pitt those are 2 teams that always play ND tough. But I think, and I would be a little more concerned about this game if they were on the road, and if they didn't have the bye week. I think having the bye week, though, is big for Notre Dame to kind of recover after a long and tough stretch. I mean, that is this stretch right here. It doesn't get much tougher than Ohio State at Duke, at Louisville, at USC, or home against USC. It doesn't get tougher than that, in my opinion. It just doesn't. I think Notre Dame is more physical than all these teams, but just the talent and quality of these teams, especially USC and Ohio State, is just ridiculous. That's going to be a tough stretch, and if they can come out of that 3-1 with wins against Ohio State and USC, which I think they do, that's crazy good. That's crazy good. That's insane. But yes, I think Notre Dame gets the win at home against Pitt after coming off their bye week. Now they go on the road at Clemson. Tough game right here. I'm giving Clemson the win. Nothing, I don't know. I don't see them winning all three of these big games, and I think it's on the road. Clemson's a tough place to play. I think they have revenge on their mind from last year, and I think they get the win at home. I don't know. I think Clemson's going to be about the same quality as they were last year. I just think Notre Dame, after that 4 stretch of games, is still trying to recover, and having to go on the road at Clemson's not going to help that. I just think Clemson gets the win there, to be honest. And then they have their bye week in Week 11. And obviously, if anyone's wondering why they have 2 bye weeks, it's because they play Navy in Week 0. And they're still playing Week 1. So that's why they have 2 bye weeks. Notre Dame's not special or anything. No. Let's see. 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay. So next week. Notre Dame's playing Wake Forest here. I think having that bye week, once again, is huge for them. They get to regroup, kind of calm themselves down after what's been a long season. I think they win at home against Wake Forest. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. And then, finally, probably one of the biggest gimme games on the season, as always, at Stanford. Technically a rivalry game. I mean, they beat us last year. This is a revenge game for some stupid reason. Losing to Stanford at home is unacceptable. Losing to them on the road is unacceptable. Notre Dame shouldn't be losing to Stanford, especially with the shape that they're in right now. Just a loss at Stanford is unacceptable in any shape or form. Never. It should never be happening at all. I don't care where the state of the program is. With the quality of Stanford right now, they should never be losing to them, ever. And I don't think they do. I think they get the win there. I think they're focused for that last game of the season. And I think Notre Dame finishes at 10-2 right there. There's the Fighting Irish season for you. I wish I should have just done this, to be honest. Probably just should have done that. But, yeah. I got them going 7 at home, 3-2 away. I think this is where the away games are going to start to catch up to Notre Dame. I got them beating Navy in Ireland, Tennessee State at home, NC State on the road, Central Michigan at home, Ohio State at home, Duke on the road. I got them losing at Louisville, beating USC at home, beating Pitt at home, losing to Clemson on the road, beating Wake Forest at home, and then beating Stanford on the road. I think people are going to agree with this Clemson loss, most likely, I'd say. People are probably going to disagree with the Louisville loss and tell me that they should be losing to Ohio State and USC. I don't know. I just feel like Marcus Freeman's just bringing a different energy into this program to where I think they can get these big wins. And I think people have been overlooking Notre Dame for so long that I just don't expect them to take this game as seriously, and I think it's going to end up biting a lot of these teams in the butt, especially Ohio State and USC. I think Clemson has earned our respect, and I think that's why they're going to show up this year and most likely come out with the victory. Dabo Swinney does not like to lose to the same team 2 years in a row, I can tell you that. But I mean, just listen, Notre Dame lost to Ohio State and USC by 11 last year with their first-year head coach, when Marcus Freeman was in his first year. I think he's going to take tremendous steps in the second year. Once again, he's getting the recruits in this system more, guys he's familiar with. That's going to help him so much, and I think that's why they're going to start getting these wins over these more talented teams, especially at home. And then that Louisville loss, once again, I think just going on the road at Duke after having to play Ohio State, maybe looking ahead to USC a little. I just think Louisville stakes their claim at their house. I think they just find a way to get it done versus the Irish. Just one of those kind of games where you just got to, just throw something at the wall and seeing what sticks. I mean, I don't know. It doesn't seem like a rational pick. It's hard to justify. The only really way you can justify it is based on how it looks on the schedule. I think Louisville wins that game. Personally, I can't have Notre Dame going 4-0 in this stretch. There may be only 2 or 3 teams in the country that can go 4-0 in this stretch, in my opinion. Ohio State, at Duke, at Louisville, home against USC. It's just brutal. It is brutal. But yeah, overall, I think Notre Dame does very well this year. 10-2 with a schedule like this, as I've predicted, I would take any day of the week. Having wins over Ohio State and USC would be massive, massive for the program. Showing that, we beat Ohio State and USC this year. Come to our school. That's going to be huge for recruiting. All that jazz. I think Notre Dame, with the 12-team playoff coming up, I think they're going to start to make that a lot more. I think a schedule like this would get them into the 12-team playoff for sure. Obviously, one more year of the 4-year playoff. I don't think they get in this year. I just think it's too difficult. I think they do get it. Say they beat Clemson. How do you leave this team out? I don't think you can. I think if they go 11-1, depending on who the losses are to and who the wins are against, I think Notre Dame can get in this year. I don't usually think they can, but with their schedule being so difficult this year, I think it's possible. But I think they go 10-2 anyways. No chance at the playoff at that point. Understandably, we don't play a conference championship, and even conference champions with 2 losses, you need a really good schedule to get in. It still never happened. So there's my prediction, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Did you agree? Did you disagree? I'm sure a lot of you guys are not going to agree with this prediction, and that's fine. Let me know what you would have changed and why. Tell me why. Don't tell me I'm just stupid. Please, let's have a conversation here. I'd love to talk with all y'all. But yeah, that's it for this video. Jake Does Sports signing off. College football coming soon. I'm excited, boys. We'll talk soon. Jake Does Sports out.